Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group number 1 and we present about the proposal lab, which is language lab. My name is Saidatul binti Jamal and I will present about the introduction. The language lab can be defined as the place or classroom where the gatherings of students and teachers to learn about the new language. The example of the new language that can be learned is Spanish, Italy, and German, and other international language. The live activity that can be done in the language lab is the teacher's presentation, where the teachers or lecturers can give more information and present about the language. The network architecture that being chosen and suitable in the language lab is client server, because the teachers or lecturers can conduct and control their students' activity in the classroom.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am SHANILZA binti Jamal, and now I'm going to present the type of computer and its specification. So there are 5 main types of computers, which are supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, microcomputers, and finally mobile computers. But let us go to deeply through microcomputers. The term of computers itself is a bit outdated. So nowadays, most people use what they call as a personal computer. This include desktop computer. Then what is a desktop computer? A desktop computer is a computing device that designed to fit on a regular office desk. It houses physical device that makes computer run and connect input such as monitors, keyboards, and mouses to interact with the user. And then that's why we are choosing the Inspiron desktop computer that have several important criteria, which are operating system, processor, memory or random access memory, memory speed, graphic card, storage, monitor, keyboard, and port. So the operating system is Windows 10 Home 64-bit English for the language laboratory. And then the processor, we choose 9 generation Intel Core i7 with 12 megabytes catch up to 4.7 gigahertz with Intel Turbo Boost technology. And then the RAM, it's about 16 gigabytes up to 32 gigabytes. And then the memory speed is a 166 megahertz. And then the graphic card is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060-150 4 gigabyte and GDDR5. So the storage, we choose solid state drive SSD rather than HDD, because solid state drive is more compatible, more good than HDD. And then the monitor, we choose Dell 22 monitor S2218H with optimal resolution Full HD. And then the keyboard, Dell KB216 keyboard English black. And then the last one is port, which comes with the front and the rear area. The front is has a power button, 5-in-1 multi-card reader, audio combo jack, and then 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type A. And then the rear has a line in and out microphone port, has a 1 VGA, has 1 HDMI out, and then 4 USB 2.0, and then 1 network port. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AINA SORFINA and I will be presenting about the hardware and software requirements for language lab. Hardware requirements. Hardware concept is a computer's physical components such as the processor and wiring, or tools and machinery, or heavy military equipment. The first one is motherboard. Motherboard helps to link all computer parts together. The CPU, memory, hard drives, and other ports and expansion cards all attach directly or via cables to the motherboard. The motherboard is the piece of computer hardware that can be described as the PC's backbone, or more precisely as the mother that keeps together all the bits. Manufacturers of popular motherboards include AZIZ, AOPEN, Intel, Abit, MSI, Gigabyte, and BioStar. The next one is Central Processing Unit. Central Processing Unit, or CPU, is the computer component which is responsible in executing and interpreting most commands from the other hardware and software of the computer. A CPU is used by all sorts of devices, including desktops, laptop and tablet computers, smartphones, and flat-screen television set. Intel and AMD are the two most popular CPU manufacturers for desktop, laptops, and servers. Language Lab preferably use Intel to ensure the smoothness. The third one is monitor. A monitor is a piece of computer hardware that displays the video and graphics information created by the computer's video card from a connected device. There are two main types of monitors, LCD and CRT. Deep-sized CRT monitors look like an old-fashioned TV. LCD displays are much thinner, use less energy, and offer higher quality graphics. OLED is another type of LCD display that provides even better color and viewing angles but also needs more power. Some displays vary in size from 17 inches to 24 inches, but some are 32 inches or larger, some even wider as seen on the gaming display. Computer monitor brands that are most common include Acer, Dell, LG Electronics, Lenovo, Samsung, HP. Language Lab use LCD for better resolutions. Next one is keyboard. The keyboard is a piece of hardware used to input text, characters, and other commands into a computer or related devices. Whether the keyboard is an optional peripheral tool in a desktop system or is virtual in a tablet PC, it is an integral part of the entire computer system. Wired keyboards connect to the motherboard via a USB cable using the USB Type-A connector. Keyboard is a very essential hardware of a computer, especially in Language Lab, to input data and information into a computer. The next one is mouse. The mouse is a hand-operated input device, also called a pointer, used to control points on a computer screen. Whether the mouse is using a laser or ball, or is wired or wireless, a mouse-detected movement sends instructions to the device to communicate with files, windows, and other software components. Most Language Lab use wired mouse, and it is connected to the computer via USB using a Type-A connector. The next one is speakers. Speakers are among the most commonly used output tools for computer systems. Many speakers are specifically designed to work with computers, while others can be connected to any form of sound system. The aim of speakers, regardless of their design, is to generate audio output which the listener can hear. Language Lab use speakers to deliver the content that are being shown on big screen to the students. The last hardware component for Language Lab is microphone. A microphone is a device recording audio by transforming waves of sound into an electrical signal. This signal can be amplified as an analog signal or transformed to a digital signal, which a computer or other digital audio system can process. Most Language Lab use a dynamic type microphone. Dynamic microphones are the most widely used microphones. They have a simple design which includes a metal coil wrapped magnet. On the front end of the magnet is placed a thin sheet called a diaphragm, which transmits vibrations from sound waves to the coil. Then the coil transfers these vibrations into electrical wires, which transmit the sound as an electrical sign. Given the simple nature of dynamic microphones, they are usually very robust and do not need electrical power. Moving on to software components for Language Lab. Software in its broadest context, is a collection of instructions or programs that direct a machine to perform specific tasks. Computer is a common term used to describe computer programs running on PCs, cell phones, tablets, or other intelligent devices. Language lab needs software that related in language learning and translating. Here are some software that need to have in a language lab. The first one is operating system. An operating system, or OS, is a software that communicates with the hardware and facilitates the running of certain programs. It consists of system software or the basic files that your computer requires to boot up and run. Each desktop computer, tablet, and smartphone include an operating system which provides the device with basic functionality. Windows, OS X, and Linux are common desktop operating systems. While each OS is different, the majority provide a graphical user interface, or GUI, that includes a desktop and file and folder managing capability. These also allow you to install and run operating system written programs. Windows and Linux can be built on standard PC hardware, while Apple systems are configured to run OS X. Hence, the hardware you select has an impact on which operating system you will run. Language Lab use latest Windows, which is Windows 10, to ensure the smoothness. The second one is Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office is a suite of desktop management software primarily developed for workplace or business use. It is Microsoft Corporation's proprietary software, which was first released in 1990. Microsoft Office is available in 35 languages and is supported by Windows, Mac, and most versions of Linux. This consists primarily of programs such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, OneNote, Outlook, and Publisher. The last one is Language Lab software. There are several software that's suitable for language learning and can be adapted in language laboratory. The first one is FluentU. FluentU's highly designed, authentic videos are mini language lessons which are literally pre-packaged. Professional translators have subtitled, translated, and annotated them so the students can comfortably follow each clip. If they are watching a film trailer, a music video, or an interview, they are plunging into matter filled with lessons and observations. The second one is DLL Language Laboratory System. DLL is a language teaching program which allows the integration of pronunciation, video presentation, audio broadcasting, and quizzes into your language classes. There are two modes of learning, which are teaching mode and self-learning mode. Smart Class Plus. All language laboratory programs feature some kind of audio pronunciation practice, allowing students to speak in their microphones and imitate native speakers. Students themselves or the instructor listening to individual recordings will then conduct testing of recorded output. Smart Class Plus cuts all the trouble by the use of AI that can listen to the pronunciations of the student and easily assess how close they are to accuracy. This time, students will know how they are doing, make any changes without any self-assessment bias implicit in the Mythware Language Lab. The Mythware Language Lab is a top-notch language instruction facilitator within a class environment. Mythware may do this since the interface was first and foremost developed as a tool for classroom management. Oral Digital Language Lab. Oral follows up on this principle by providing a variety of pre-recorded speech, accent, and pronunciation instruction for native speakers. The task of the students is to listen, tune their ears to the target language, and familiarize themselves with its rhythms and rhythms. We have to articulate and imitate the way a native speaker sounds after listening. It is very effective because this software uses first tongue language, which makes it easier for students to learn. Zybro Language Lab. The Zybro Language Lab makes it possible for students to learn the language at their own pace and in the privacy of their own personal consoles. The company believes that this language lab system also benefits shy students and also allows learners to speak more openly than typical classroom setups. Students improve their language skills by communicating with the master stimulus, native speaker audios that act as difficulty building modules as the lessons progress. There is a recording feature which allows students to save their performance and compare it to the pronunciation of native speakers. Last but not least is school shape. The school shape method incorporates the communicative method concepts in which language is taught through realistic task-based activities. The purpose of learning a language is, after all, so that one can use it properly to communicate with others. Students are placed in background and feedback with situations where they may need to use the target language to achieve a task.
Assalamualaikum. My name is SYAZWANI binti KHAIROZI. Now I will presenting about the network architecture. Network architecture is the complete framework of an organization's computer network. It is referring to how the computers are organized in the system. The tasks are allocated between all these computers. There are two types of network architecture. The first one is peer-to-peer architecture, and the second one is client-server architecture. So for our proposal, we choose the client-server architecture for our language lab. Client-server architecture acting as a hub in which other clients' computer can connect to. It is also acting as a heart to the system that manage and provide resources to any clients is made from them, and it is also a server that has a special network operating system to help in providing the resources to multiple users. Advantages of the client-server architecture. The first one is it is high-level security supported. The second one is it is not restricted to a small number of computers. The third one is it can be accessed anywhere and across multiple platforms. The fourth one, data backup of this server is easy and cost-effective. And the last one is less time-consuming to maintain the software being used. For the disadvantages of the client-server architecture, the first one is the server maintenance cost is high. It requires a technical staff to maintain and ensure the network function efficiently. The third one is the network is more difficult to set up. And the last one is if the server failure, so the entire network cannot be functioning.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad SUHAIMI bin Muhammad IZZAH. I am from group IMS455. Today I want to talk to all of you about the layout of computer setup language lab. In the language lab, there are 30 computers. Computers are arranged in lanes with a table and chair for each computer to allow students to move freely in each lab. Each computer, as well as chair and desk, are also facing the lecturer or teacher desk to facilitate face-to-face teaching and learning process. The U-shaped table make it easy for students to have group discussion while the lecturer want to do group study. While the table in front of the console table or table is used to hold a TV and video recorder for class viewing of video materials. After that, the teacher console for the lecturer or teacher to place the teaching material. The board is used by the teaching staff to explain in more detail a topic that is being discussed during the lesson. Finally, in the language lab, we had 3 internet servers. Each internet server provides internet access to 10 computers. This internet server using cable, not the wireless, for each computer. That is all from me. Thank you.
Next is our floor plan for the language lab. In this floor plan, they will show the position of the furniture such as PC, LCD screen, projector, and other necessary items.
Total for our budget is 70,630. The budget is stated as below. A model language lab consists of various elements from a multifunctional environment that use the latest technology for education. Among the necessary items of language laboratories, we find headphone. Headphone help users to focus on their own work by eliminating ambient room noise. It also easier for users to focus on their listening without being disrupted. Volume controller. This USB volume controller can directly control the computer operating system volume. It also able for the teachers to check on their students either they really focus on their work or not. Electronic amplifier is an electronic device that can increase the power of a signal. The amplifier is a must-have to make sure the internet was good to conduct a class. Tape recorders is a recording system that makes use of electromagnetic phenomena to record and reproduce sound wave. It also used for students to record their voice and to hear it to check whether their pronouns was good or bad. Microphone is a device and a transducer that converts sound into an electrical signal. It is used for teaching to make it clear and loud. Fire extinguisher is an active fire protection device used to extinguish or control small fires, often in emergency situations. This fire extinguisher is important to prevent bad situations from happening and to make sure the lab have a safety protection.
In conclusion, there can be no doubt that language lab is one of the most important laboratories that needs only certain specific components such as hardware, software, furniture, type of computer, network architecture, computer layout setup, floor plan, room condition, and other necessary items that are different than other labs. This type of lab is very important among students. It is because students frequently use this as a platform to learn new languages, whether they learn through listening or speaking or writing. This language lab has very crucial components that makes it different from other labs that have contrasting functions, and usually other laboratories consist even more than language lab, which makes this lab a low budgeting lab and is suitable to provide in universities or schools. It is no doubt that users, usually students, love to spend their time in learning languages, and it may be a good approach to intriguing the students in learning as well as giving them a good conducive environment. Language lab is very helpful to students since it can help the students to communicating and develop their writing and listening skills.